And we're back.
Oh, hello.
So... where do I begin? So... I guess... I guess...
Oh, shit.
I guess the day starts as it does for most of you on a regular basis. You wake up at the regular hour.
Oh, also, one quick note, because I realized this over the break. Could I have organized for like a messenger to be sent to Emberborough
Oh, yeah, sure.
during the time? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you want to get a message there immediately, you can just have one of your colleagues send it.
Well, I want to arrange for a parcel to be delivered from Emberborough to here, so...
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can arrange that in background. Yeah, so you all awaken on the first day of the Festival of First Blossoms, which, for those of you who are Elven, holds probably a certain degree of significance. It's fairly widely celebrated, and it's much a sort of like a day to welcome in like the first days of spring, as much as it is sort of like a day of like lovers and romance and family and things. For human culture, and those of you who grew up around human culture, it's very much like as you would perceive Valentine's Day in our world, except slightly less commercialized.
Yeah. Love Day!
Yes, it's quite literally called Lover's Day.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have an equivalent in Dragonborn culture, or do I just not know what the fuck is going on?
What is this love you speak of?
Oh, no,
Okay, come on, but not like that.
Come on, guys, let's introduce yet another thing the Dragonborn don't have to Kelariis.
So,
We've already given us snow.
it probably exists, but it's I guess for the Dragonborn, it's probably more of a festival akin to like Chinese New Year.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
Because for Dragonborn, love is as much as it's a thing between individuals, it's a clan thing.
Right. Yeah, it's like a family. It's a very family.
Yeah. So rather than having like a day where you just sort of get together with your loved one, it's a day when you get together with your
big ass family.
Yeah, like the clan will get together. They will exchange gifts, and like new introductions to the family are introduced, like children or spouses or whatever. So yeah, you have something similar.
Oh, now I've just got the idea of Elizabeth like disappearing early in the morning to go buy everyone flowers.
And you could definitely do that. There are definitely like sort of people out and about who are selling things. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm going to do some research, get everyone different flowers.
Okay.
So bear with me. Do other stuff.
Okay, so you spend some time getting people flowers and spending some money. But yeah, the rest of you are awake. Come downstairs to eat your meal as usual. There's a lot less people sort of in the mess hall because a lot of people are sort of like have taken the day off, so to speak, or are in the process of getting ready. Vondel is there, but for a change, he's not doing the cooking. He's sort of putting the finishing touches to his attire. So he is like fully togged up in his vestments. And he's gone. He must have got up a lot earlier than the rest of you because he's gone to town significantly on the beard. So it's fully oiled, styled, ornamented.
God.
Yeah. No half measures for Vondal today.
Okay. I already have ideas now.
Okay, so Elizabeth sort of strides into the hallway as you're into the mess hall as you're all eating, with an armful of flowers.
Hi guys. I walk over to everyone. I wanted to do something because bit of celebration. So I got everyone flowers because I didn't know what else to do. And then she'd hand Arya some white roses. She'd hand Kelariis some sunflowers. She'd give Lithari a load of nice looking load of daisies, and
Nice.
Grim some marigolds.
Well, how very thoughtful.
I tried. I'm not normally good with this day.
No, it is very much appreciated.
I spent most of mine indoors.
So yeah, just check off a silver for every person that you bought for.
Cool.
Flowers are always appreciated.
At this point,
Loki looking up the meaning of white roses.
Well, to be fair, I didn't actually look up meanings for Kelariis and Arya's ones. They just kind of were the first things that popped into my head as like things that suit you.
okay.
Fair enough.
Think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
White roses not dethorned, specifically.
okay.
Ah. Wow.
Can you see why I got those for Arya now?
I see.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Is there a flower way of saying thanks? You're a bitch.
Oh my god!
She doesn't mean it in a horrible way.
Ugh.
What?
So as you're getting into this, Lady Falkir and bodyguard arrive in the hall, and she sort of like looks over to your table and smiles and says, already getting into the spirit of things, I see.
I tried.
That's very thoughtful. It is the day of first blossoms, after all. It's the kind of thing that's supposed to be celebrated like this.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I spent most of this day indoors. I can't do words.
I know what you
both,
mean.
Elizabeth.
What?
Well, this is my first Festival of Blossoms in a long time.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, Lady Falkir sort of like sits at the table, like leans into Vondal and says, "So are you all set to all set for everything this morning?" And he sort of like nods and says, "Yeah, well, I think we're about as ready as we're going to be. I'm not sure what's worse, my nerves or their nerves. It's been a while since I've done this."
Oh, I'm
Oh,
so
sure.
excited.
Sure. Fine.
I just hope I don't have too much trouble getting into the dress I bought. It's gonna feel weird not wearing my boots.
Lady Falkir sort of smiles and says, but that's the beauty of being a mage, you can always adjust.
Good point. It's still gonna feel weird not wearing my boots, though.
So, the morning passes, everyone gets ready in their gear and setup and heads into town. You can sort of see the town is very much in throngs of... there's various people sort of like going around just celebrating the day like in and of itself, but the town is very clearly sort of like revving up for the party that you've managed to plan in the meantime. I realise I need to actually sort out like how much you guys are contributing towards this party, but we can sort that out afterwards. Yeah, everyone seems to be ramping up for the party, except for this one sort of group of individuals, mostly consisting of Amber Eagle mercenaries, who are all sort of gathered around this small garden in the centre of town, which has been beautifully arrayed in sort of banners and bouquets. A fairly simplistic affair. It's not like a grand or expensive thing, but it's very nicely laid out. Vondal goes up, takes his position at the head, and Eduk is sort of standing, like, waiting. Okay, Grim has a bag of volume. Good to know. Yeah, Eduk is sort of like standing there, like anxiously waiting, dressed up in a very sort of like fine waistcoat and shirt. And as the as everyone sort of like arrives and the ceremony kicks into gear, you watch Nalea, who is the merchant. She comes up in a beautiful long sleeveless dress, which, considering it is still fairly early in the year, is probably like decently cold. You suspect that somebody probably has a shawl in the back somewhere waiting for her, but the dress has no sleeves, so you got to kind of show that off. But yeah, the two of them meet at the altar. The traditional exchange of vows is partaken in. Vondal says a few words, gives a very touching speech on getting to know the two. And yeah, as sort of like it approaches the middle of the day, the knot is tied, rings are exchanged, and the two are married.
Hooray! Clap, clap, clap.
And with that, Vondal's ceremony spell completes, which actually gives them some benefits, but probably isn't relevant.
Technically, they're buffed.
Technically, they are buffed.
Well, they'll live
They
or
get,
die.
they, get,
regardless.
they get stuff whenever they're near each other.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly what it is.
I think it's armor class.
Oh, I thought it was temporary hit points.
Oh, maybe it's temp HP. Can't remember.
It's one of those.
Let's
Oh,
look
Only
it up.
for like a week
I
or
could
so.
look it up. I also have the spell on my list. We really want to know.
Oh, it won't be in the default thing, will it?
It's a +2 AC.
+2 AC. That's a
there you
lot.
go.
Within 30 feet of each other.
Holy shit! Getting married is powerful.
Yeah. Guys, turns out we should have
Arya?
got married. Turns out we should have got married before we fought the dragon.
Nah, it's fine.
It's fine. We
Yeah.
should be in.
I think I heard a story of a group who played D&D who the cleric just married all of them to each other before they went and fought the big bad.
Yep. It's a legitimate
Wow.
strategy.
Yeah.
See, the only problem is the only way to do it again is to be widowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a one-time thing.
Well, unless the first time goes half bad.
Oh my god.
Well, no. In theory, you could just add another person to the wedding and then marry them all to the new person, and then you get it again.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, probably not.
Yeah, you could also only cast it on 2 individuals simultaneously.
Bullshit.
D&D is a strictly monogamous game.
Yeah.
How dare you,
Monogamous,
D&D? Let me have a polyamorous relationship.
Oh, you can have one. You just don't get any buff for it.
Oh, that's discriminatory.
Yeah.
Can't
Did
believe
you
we
mean
can't
for
have
Sims?
we can't have one big party wedding.
That's some bullshit.
You can't marry each other. I think I'd have a few choice words about that.
Yeah. I don't know if she'd want to get married to any of you, except maybe Kelariis.
Nice.
Yeah, obviously.
You know.
I don't know. I'm not sure she can resist Grim once he.
No,
I was
no.
about to say I think Grim is the only person no one wants to marry.
But so you see,
Sorry, Grim.
like you've not seen much of a softer side, but
I don't want to either.
Yeah.
remember, like he was a little more relaxed about it with the family.
He
Yeah.
was, and it was cute, but I wouldn't want to marry it.
Wow.
Honestly, of all the people that were there when we met your family, Grim was not the one I wanted to marry. Let me put it that way.
But I think the problem is he's a guy. That's like
Yeah,
that's the problem.
there's kind of a fundamental
Yeah.
flaw in that entire.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point.
Oh.
His sister on the other hand, no. Anyway,
Yeah. So the marriage ceremony completes, and the bride and groom make their excuses and sort of move on to. I guess sort of like the small reception that they have going. The majority of people sort of stay to say a few words, and then sort of disappear off to celebrate the much larger party. Yeah, sure, Kelariis.
Oh, sorry. Like afterwards, continue with this bit. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So preparations are beginning to be like set in place. Like there's a you can either sort of stay for the small lunch that they're having after this wedding, or you can look to get out into the larger party if you want to.
Mhm.
So I guess the question I'm really asking is, who do you all want to spend Lovers' Day with?
Wow.
Oh god.
Well, I love myself most of all, of course, but
God
no.
damn it.
You see, guess my brain's just sitting here going, does Elizabeth have the confidence?
Oh my
Hell,
god.
do I have the confidence?
Arya's gonna spin it with Lyra, her one true love.
Aw.
Excellent.
Nice.
Oh.
Predictable, but no less adorable.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
A bond
would-
of a girl and her wolf.
Yeah. I would spend Lover's Day with my dog.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Fuck yeah.
So, Kelariis, what do you want to do?
Oh, like in terms of who I'm spending.
Oh no, sorry.
Lovers' Day-
Like in terms of your thing, because everyone else is thinking about what they want to do.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, sorry. Trying to
Um,
trace several threads at once.
No, that's fine. Well, the thing is that I took a second to think about it because I was like, oh fuck, like Kelariis would have done something if like knowing ahead of time that this was the thing and that was kind of like the equivalent of what it is in Dragonborn culture. So I had to do some very quick tracing back to the stuff that I grew up with as like a person, as a player.
Mhm.
But I think that probably over the past couple of days she would have made essentially like a pretty common thing, at least in Hawaii, like for Chinese New Year you'd give the red envelopes, but you'd also give like good luck charms basically with like it's just like string, I guess. It's string, but there's usually like an actual charm tied to it. I
Yes.
think traditionally they're made with jade, but glass seems appropriate considering what
Yeah.
Kelariis had skill in. But probably makes just them like they're not big. They're not like I was measuring it with my hand and realized nobody could see it, but they're not like super big charms, and like the charms themselves are pretty small. But probably just like with an eagle because we're all part of the Amber Eagle. Like for our group, our group of people, probably one for Vundal, Thasira, Sidani, and probably that's it, because that's like the group of people that she would have made that
Yeah,
for.
the people Kelariis considers like close friends.
Yeah. But yeah, probably would wait till like later in the day, and I realize means that she'd probably have to hunt down everybody individually at some point or another, but would like hand them to people later in the day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like
you
an evening thing to do.
go around. Well, they'll all be together for the party later, so.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, just kind of like bringing that kind of tradition in. Like, I guess it's probably a little different than what she grew up with, but
Yeah.
the similar idea of like, here's a good luck charm,
Yeah.
essentially, or like a good luck thing, and it's like good blessings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm now struggling to not imagine them as jade coins, but that's from a different game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, when you flick them, they
ding.
go ding.
Please don't flick the glass.
5. Bring a sword. No.
Ah,
No.
I blame that entirely on Jake. Jake
Yeah.
and his stupid trinket.
Fucking Jake.
Yeah. God damn it, Jake.
Anyway.
But yeah, that's a thing. And then I guess like, I mean, I know that Kelariis would probably specifically go and find Tallithsyr to spend the day with, because both of them are away from like family that we grew up with.
Yeah,
And like having that sort of
yeah, because you can't spend
People
it with
who
family,
understand.
you spend it with your closer family.
yeah, and also like understanding the traditions that we come from. I figured that would probably be something, especially for her, because this is her first like long time away from home.
Yeah,
That probably would be nice. So
okay. I think there might be a scene there, but we'll see what everyone else is doing.
okay.
Because, okay. I know, I'm assuming if there's like more of like a party thing, there's like dancing going on.
Yeah. So at the moment, there is a small scale gathering going on after the wedding, where like the bride and groom are sort of enjoying the company of friends. There are some people sort of like dancing and making merry there, but people are sort of like holding themselves back because they know there's like a whole whole town party going to be hosted later.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say like, Elizabeth probably wouldn't do anything specific unless there was like if she was gonna do something, it'd probably be like when there's more dancing, I guess.
Okay.
So I guess like she's just spending the morning idling about, chatting,
Okay.
and being nervous.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean, there's one person she wants to talk to, but like, do I have the confidence to approach that person? Probably not.
I think Lithari is also keeping to herself. I think she in the after the wedding ceremony, she takes a moment and like just does a quick sketch of it from memory, just for herself.
Hmm.
But I also think is there like a place for like gifts and stuff for the wedding?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That people are getting?
It's not exactly like packed with things. There's like a handful of
Yeah.
gifts, but
Yeah, I think she stops by there and just kind of when nobody's looking at and drops a little pouch of 15 gold in there.
very nice.
Yes. Grim would. I guess like he talked to a few people, but I think above all, he's a little on edge almost. Like just just making sure nothing is going wrong because everything is going too well.
Yeah. Grim's like doing the
Last one we
bounce
went to
around.
didn't go well.
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of you in much as the Grim fashion, you sort of do. You make nice with the guests at the wedding, but you're sort of very much there as like a being on guard of things. And you notice that actually, like, whilst everyone sort of in town is sort of making merry and having fun, there is still like a guard presence. Probably that you actually had a hand in making sure was around. And like they're sort of hidden away and disguised, but there's definitely a guard presence keeping an eye on things, and that reassures you to a degree.
Yeah, but like he's I think it does reassure him, but with all the recent events and the events to come.
Yeah.
It's
If the guards are in disguise, who else could be in disguise?
Oh my god.
Well, I
well,
say
and it wouldn't be the first time that somebody snuck past the guards.
yeah. I say the guards are in disguise. They're not actually really in disguise. They're just sort of standing out of sight.
Mm.
They are being inconspicuous.
Nobody likes cops at a wedding.
I'm assuming, by the way, that you have the bag of holding, you have all of your shit in the bag of holding.
Yes. Well, like I haven't gone through the effort to put the armor and stuff in.
But you've got your dragon killing sword.
just a sword.
I mean, honestly, knowing that if Elizabeth knew that Grim had the bag of holding, her staff's probably in there as well, temporarily.
Sure.
I can't believe you're using Grim as a handbag.
Dang.
Oh my god.
It's like, can you just
Look.
hold my gloves?
Look, first of all, yeah, she would ask first. She wouldn't just be like, take this.
Yep.
She'd ask if it's okay, and if it's not, she wouldn't push.
But there's
But,
no
you know,
real reason
just
not
in
to.
case.
Yeah.
Like
Good.
I've also finally emptied a lot of the junk out of the bag, and actually just put it in the.
Also, yeah, despite the fact that Elizabeth is now wearing a really nice dress, she's still very much pride of placing her just ordinary steel necklace.
Hmm.
Because it's important.
I'm just imagining like Grim standing at the back of this like outdoor wedding, and Elizabeth swings past like, "You got my chapstick."
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yep, pretty much.
Amazing.
Okay, I think in that case that's everyone accounted for.
In the morning.
But yeah, no, I think there's a scene between Tallithsyr and Kelariis, at least, as you sort of like spend some time together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think like sort of as you're walking through town, you sort of as you walk through, you notice that like there's a lot of people who are like quite clearly like walking with a partner of some kind, like laughing and joking or holding hands, or some doing the typical annoying couple thing of standing in doorways and just making out with each other.
Lovely.
Classic.
PDAs, gotta love them.
Yep. Look, a little peck on the mouth's okay, but full making out, no.
And I think like walking through and observing all of this, Tallithsyr just sort of like as you like reach a natural pause in your like walking together, just sort of says, if there's one thing I've noticed in all of my time around humans and elves to a lesser extent, but definitely humans, it's how quickly they spring to physical affection on things.
Yeah, it's different, but I think that we just do it in different ways. We offer words a lot more, but they like a lot of hugs and probably gestures at some couple somewhere.
Yeah.
Not so far off. But it takes a bit of getting used to, but I think that it all comes from similar places.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like the only person I've ever had the desire to hug was my parents. I don't know that I'd be comfortable doing it to a stranger.
I mean, that makes... I mean, I get that. I understand it's similar, but you can hug your friends as well. I mean, it's the people that you're comfortable with that you want to express that sort of support or affection or comfort for. Sometimes, as much as we rely on our words, it's not always enough. And sometimes it is, so...
I suppose there are some things where just telling people stuff doesn't quite cut it.
But on the flip side of it, there are some situations where giving somebody a hug, for example, doesn't always convey or all of the meaning that you want it to. I think something that I've seen and come to realize is that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be a mixture of both.
She sort of she falls quiet for a few moments and just sort of says, "Do you ever think about finding someone? Just, I mean, like in a bonding sort of way."
Kalariis probably takes a moment to really think about it, I guess. Sort of, but not really right now. There's a lot for me that I want to do before I even think about that. But maybe one day, when things will never really truly be settled down, I don't think. There will always be people out there that need a bit of a talking to. But there's a lot to deal with first.
She sort of nods, understanding, so says, "It's just not a lot of hero stories end with, I guess, them finding someone."
Well, I think it depends on which stories you're looking at. I mean, Jasmal found somebody, and I think a lot of it just doesn't get written down because it becomes more of a private thing after that.
I suppose.
Do you think about that then, sometimes?
She looks a little shy for a second, so says, "Well, not so much. I thought about it a while ago. When I was still at home, and there was this one kid. Rana, his name was. But I never really kind of knew if I liked him or I don't know. That's kind of embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. But you also don't need to talk about it if you don't want to.
Like, he was nice. And when he smiled, he had this stupid, goofy grin. But on the other hand, I used to get so annoyed with him. Everything was a joke to him. And I don't know whether it kind of drove me mad, but in a cute sort of way.
Sorry, that's me laughing because Tallithsyr is so good. I love her so much.
Thalithsyr is a pure bean.
She's so good.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, did you ever really get to know him much before? Well, I mean, you're here now, but
Well, not really. I knew him in passing, and we worked together in the field sometimes, but
that's different.
it was just kind of I don't know, almost like a passing thing. Like, sometimes I think back about him, but it doesn't feel the same.
It can be like that sometimes, I think, where in the moment it'll feel like something, and later on down the line you'll look at it differently. And that's not weird, or I think that's pretty common. But from what I understand, first step is to get to know whoever it is better. That's what my parents always talked about. They said that they knew each other for a while. And I used to make weird faces about it when they would tell me the stories when I was younger. Well, not much younger, but when I was a bit younger, I used to, you do the thing where your parents tell you that, and you almost have to make a weird face back at them, just so they don't think,
Yeah, she sort of like chuckles under her breath and just sort of says, "Yeah." I always used to feel super weird. Dad would sit in the chair by the fireplace, and then Mum would come and sit on him, and it would it makes me weird just thinking about it. But I guess it was kind of cute, in a way.
It is. My mom always told me how she and Dad they talked a lot and were friends before they kind of got to be more. So that's kind of how I've always thought about it. But they would definitely do that thing too, where they would just kind of... They would do more of the casual, I guess, hand-holding, or being very close to each other.
Whenever they think you're not looking.
Yeah. But I don't know how much they really thought that me and my brother weren't looking, but it was nice to see after I stopped making weird faces every time.
Mm.
I guess that's just part of growing up.
Something like that. It's among all the other things that happen. And like I think Kelariis just kind of like shrugs after a little bit of a pause,
Yeah.
and it's just like, but who knows? Things can change. You can meet people all the time, and who knows? Maybe one day I'll go back home and. Sorry, I forgot the name that you said, but Kelariis remembers it.
Rana.
Vana?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like who knows, maybe I'll go back home and talk to Rana more. Or maybe it'll be somebody else.
Yeah, I think she sort of like looks up and smiles at you at that, and so says, "Yeah, who knows."
Kelariis just kind of like smiles and just like, we've got family no matter what.
She nods. Would it be weird if I hugged you?
No.
It feels kind of weird, but she just sort of like leans in.
Yeah, Kelariis just kind of like puts an arm around her shoulders and just kind of like pulls her in for like a side hug, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just sort of like leans into it. Obviously feels a bit awkward.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's one thing we've both picked up from being around humans and others so long. Or for a bit.
I think it's V.
It's definitely V.
Okay. I think camera just pans away from that and that's scene.
And scene.
And see.
Oh, I love Tallithsyr so much. She's so good.
So good. So wholesome and lovely.
She is what they call baby.
Yep.
A whole baby.
Oh, baby.
Like a whole baby.
A whole
Baby,
baby.
baby,
Baby.
It's like a cocktail sausage.
God, that is such a niche reference.
It's
Yep.
such a niche reference. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Every
It'll
time I
always
make
be
it,
a
I
tough
just-
decision as to what the best line in that song was.
it's got to be whole baby.
I mean, no, I think it's the cocktail sausage.
I think
Anyway.
whole baby's better.
Wow.
So, I guess, unless anyone has anything else they want to do, eventually people finish up lunch and slowly begin to congregate for this street party. Food is being served at various places. Ale and whatever it is that people like to drink seems to be beginning to flow quite freely. Vondal can be found with tankard in hand, sort of partially just like half like talking to people and engaging with people in the street, and the other half telling people like where to be going for stuff. He doesn't seem to be able to decide whether he is off duty or on duty.
Sounds
That
about
sounds-
right.
That sounds like Von Dahl.
Yeah, you spot several members of the company of the Amber Eagle beginning to like get out and enjoy themselves. Yeah, I guess. What do people want to do? Where do you want to go?
I guess, is there more like dancing happening?
Yeah, like people are starting to like get into the party festivities. Like there is music. Like some people are like dancing and stuff.
And is Lady Felkia around?
Yeah, she is around. She is like as you sort of like look around to see if you can find her. She is currently conversing with the newly married couple. Seems to be engaged in a fairly amicable like conversation. There seems to be lots of laughing and joking.
Yeah. I guess there's probably a long moment where Elizabeth's just kind of standing a little ways away, like trying to get the confidence to go over, but also like she definitely doesn't want to interrupt.
Okay. After a while of sort of standing there awkwardly, Lady Felkir catches sight of you out of the corner of her eye and beckons you to come over.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, with the beckon she would.
Yeah, you join the conversation. Lady Felkir is talking to the couple and sort of says, yes, but to cut a long story short, that's how I landed my position at the academy. At which point they're sort of like, wow, that's... I mean, I knew you came from quite a prestigious family, but I never quite imagined that it was that complex. And she sort of like nods and says, yeah, family politics can be difficult, but I think one thing that the Academy values more than anything else is individual talent. And that's something I've tried to continue in my work. I'm trying to find the people who are best suited to the Academy and its teachings. Sort of turns to you, Elizabeth, and sort of says, and speaking of talented...
Okay, if that's how she introduces things, Elizabeth definitely blushes a little bit. She's just going, it's, yeah, she has no idea what to
Yeah.
say.
Oh, come, it's not that much. I mean, look at what you've managed to achieve.
I guess for someone my age, it's a lot.
She smiles and just sort of turns to back to the couple and sort of says, "How old are you again?"
Elizabeth.
How old is Elizabeth?
She's 20.
Yeah, she turns back to the couple and sort of says, Elizabeth here is 20 years of age, has mastered schools of magic that I was only barely dreaming of at that age. And to cap all of that off, she's out there in the world combating ancient dragons. And like, at which point, like, Aidek sort of like nods and says, yeah, I have to admit, the dragon thing is... I have no understanding of magic beyond the basics, but slaying a dragon is something that I can't even begin to sort of lay out the sort of idea of how you'd even begin to do that. When we heard about the story, I was stunned, honestly. I mean, I've seen Mr. Daemaris and the others at work. It's another thing to sort of hear about their exploits in the field.
I mean, yeah, they did most of the heavy lifting up the... Like, yeah, I was there and I helped, but you know, they were the ones in the thick of things. Our first encounter with the dragon, all I did was cause problems.
Well, it takes many kinds to make a company. I think that much is evident from everything we've seen today. And she sort of smiles at the couple, and they sort of like look slightly embarrassed and sort of smile back. But she says, please, I won't take up any more of your time. As I said, if there's anything I can help you with while you're out here, please do write me a letter. And they sort of like nod and say, that's very kind of you, thank you very much, and sort of take each other's hand and step away. And she says, sorry, Elizabeth, it seemed like it was something you wanted.
I guess you could say that there was. Oh god, it's so much harder to say this now I'm here.
She sort of like looks at your uncomfortable demeanor and says, "Is something the matter?"
No, nothing. No, I apologize if this is inappropriate, but I was just wondering if maybe you'd want to dance.
She sort of like looks at you with a quizzical look for a few seconds and sort of says, God, how would she word this? I guess she finishes the glass of wine that she sort of like has in her hand, finds a place to put it down, and sort of says, "It's been quite some time since I've danced at a public event like this, but I think that would be nice."
I wouldn't want to push.
She sort of like her brow furrows up a little bit and sort of says, "You don't seem all that comfortable with this."
Well, it's just that, given who you are and who I am, there's
She like sort of looks you in the eyes as you're rapidly trying to avoid looking at her face, and just sort of says, "Use your words, Elizabeth."
just, you're the daughter of the High Elven Exarch, and I'm the daughter of a couple mercenaries and a genie from, like, we don't,
And this impedes your ability to dance?
No, but, like, am I overly worrying about status and it being okay to be seen with who or wherever? Is this just a human thing?
She smiles and sort of says, "I think I understand where your anxiety is coming from. To everyone here, I am either a visiting diplomat or a friend. If it's just dancing we're talking about, I wouldn't worry too much."
I'd very much like that.
Well, she sort of offers to take the lead.
Yep. Take that.
Okay. The two of you dance. I will say, like throughout this thing, like, what is Elizabeth's like performance skill?
Her performance stat is +2.
+2. Okay. So, Elena doesn't try anything complicated. She sticks to sort of like some very simple dance moves to the music, and the two of you like dance a I don't know the term for it because I don't actually do any dancing myself, but you dance like sort of like a fairly formal dance to the tune that is being played.
But yeah, like, I mean, as it goes on, and Elizabeth probably like visibly relaxes a lot. She'd probably like strike up conversation again and just say, "I'm sorry it took me so long to ask for this. I was just, I don't know. I was very worried about. I guess the term would be getting ideas above my station. Like that's a really terrible way of wording it, but like, you know how like sometimes it's seen as inappropriate for nobility to mingle with non-nobility. I fear I may have been overly worried about that.
She nods and sort of says, I understand the hesitation. You're not alone in experiencing it. Many people have the same sort of reaction, but the fact of the matter is, if this were a more formal engagement, perhaps that would be a concern. There would be certain social orders to adhere to, but we are dancing in the middle of the street to celebrate your victory over slaying a mythical creature. The people around us are barely even concerned about the wider realm politics as a whole.
Yeah. In hindsight, I don't know why I was so worried.
It's an understandable concern.
And besides, you hardly did yourself justice when you were talking about me earlier.
She looks at you and says, what do you mean?
I mean, you're still an impressive individual in your own right.
I didn't say I wasn't.
True.
Don't get me wrong, Elizabeth. I earned my accomplishments. I'm just aware that my development is that of one who has had a long time to learn. Yours is of one who's naturally talented. That is all I'm saying. You needn't be so defensive about it.
I guess I just don't feel that impressive.
Then I think perhaps you need to take a step back and look at things from a wider view.
Yeah. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me. I know that sometimes it's hard to be self-reflective, but just look at your companions. How much do you look up to your companions?
I mean, they're heroes. They've shaped history.
And I'm sure if you ask them, they would not see it like that at all. They merely did what was necessary in the moment. It's all a matter of perspective, Elizabeth. You must learn to shift those of your own to that of an observer. It is a talent that took me quite some time to master, and whilst your magical aptitude may be great, I feel it is something that may take you some time to learn as well. But it is an important skill.
So I should try to look at myself the way a historian would.
I suppose that's an apt comparison.
I mean, it's what my brain jumped to. I do have a passion for history as well.
I suppose historian is appropriate. Though there isn't always an important thing to remember about history. It's always written from the perspective of the victors.
It is. Well, that's honestly half the reason I even wanted to go to Argan Talorand, to the college and its library, to get the elven perspective. I'm not exactly going to go and publish a book with only half the story.
That's incredibly forward thinking. I'm sure the Academy would love to have you.
I guess I'll have to find the time.
Well, if you let me know you're coming, I'll put in a word for you.
It's appreciated. How should I let you know? I don't want to go sending magical messages without permission.
The dance finishes and she offers you like a short curtsy, and she just sort of says, Elizabeth, your friends and I have a relationship somewhat beyond the professional. I would like to say that a similar relationship extends to you as well. If the time calls for it, then please don't hesitate to send me a message, but if you feel it's perhaps not appropriate or not urgent, then a letter will suffice. Your companions know where to find me.
Yeah. I guess Elizabeth would just nod and say, "Thank you again."
You're very welcome.
I won't take up more of your time.
She's sort of chuckles and says, "You weren't taking it up at all. It might surprise you, Elizabeth, that people do enjoy spending time with you."
Don't know what to say again. Then, would you mind at all if I spent more time with you?
She sort of just looks at you again with a similar sort of like, that's a bit of a bizarre question. But she sort of says, well, of course, it's, I mean, where would you like to go?
Could just go for a bit of a walk or something? I don't know.
I think at this point she's just like, there's a almost like an understanding smile on her face, and she just sort of says, "How about we go and get a drink?"
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So yeah, the two of you go off to find a drink.
I mean, yeah, I probably, like, as they're walking away, probably goes, "Did I ever introduce you properly to Scarlet?"
She, like, you, I presume you produce Scarlet at the same time.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't necessarily
Oh, okay.
introduce her straight away. Just like ask the question first.
Yeah, she sort of like turns back to you and says, "You're referring to your familiar. We've met briefly."
So I was just wondering. Otherwise, I would have, introduced you, I suppose.
So, the two of you head off to get a drink. What are the rest of you doing?
I see you all typing.
What happened in that scene?
Also, Tyriak, yes, you can buy nobility. You buy land. Because usually that's what makes you a noble. You own land.
Luka.
Oh my god.
I hate that emote.
God damn it. Why do you do this to us?
Anyway, what is everyone else doing?
Anyway. I don't know. Where's Kelariis? Arya would probably just go chill with Kelariis for a little while.
Okay. Kallistrate, what are
Yeah,
you
I don't
doing
know.
now that the party is in full swing?
Oh heck, I don't know. Honestly, probably. Oh shit, I didn't think about that.
Watching Elizabeth fumble.
Honestly, maybe. I'm not even intentionally, because she's probably just like Kelariis is probably just walking around. Because I'm just like, I don't fucking know. I don't usually dance. So I'm just probably walking around and witnessed part of that and just went, well, walking in the other direction now.
I feel like Arya would come up and be like, "What was that about?"
I'm now just imagining as the two women walk off to like go and get something to drink. The camera just like pans across to Arya, who walks up to Kelariis, who's just watching them and just eating like chips. And then Arya's like, "What are you doing?"
It's like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not quite sure if that was Elizabeth's attempt at flirting, but I think that's what that was.
Really?
Just kind of shrug, like,
How old is Lady Ophelkia?
That's a good question. Let me open the timeline.
Math.
She's old enough that I have to go back into the timeline to find out.
I was gonna say she's
Yeah,
an
right?
elf, so
Yeah.
pretty old is my
yeah,
guess.
she's an elf.
Well, she's Iloran's older sister, so
Right.
and
yeah,
Iloran
that's-
is 100 and something. Anyway, sorry. Carry on your scene while I look it up.
Anyway, I'm just gonna be like, that's bold of her to go up to a noble lady and flirt with him unabashedly, but
I
I
mean,
guess as long as Lady Ophelkia was okay with it, doesn't really matter.
to her, I hesitate to say credit, she was very hesitant about it from what I saw. I wasn't trying to watch too closely, but it's
Yeah. It's hard to ignore.
yeah. What are you up to then? Walking, it seems.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good food here, so test it out. Saved Lyra some of the meat.
Is Lyra with you?
She's probably like chilling on the edges somewhere.
Okay,
probably,
I
like,
was just
too
like,
many
this
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, there's probably like two
you-
people
wolf
for
just
her.
following you around.
You look over and like on a street corner next to a like a vendor is just this massive wolf who's just like tearing into meat, and there's
Yeah.
there's a bunch of like reveling partygoers who are just giving this wolf a wide berth to get to the stand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bless.
why has my brain just now had the mental image of like Lyra like walking past and accidentally knocking a cart over, and the poor guy just goes, "My cabbages!"
My cabbages! But yeah, Lyra's probably just hanging out on the edges because there's probably too many people for her to comfortably walk around without
Yeah.
like causing a scene. So.
But yeah, I mean, the food is definitely still. There's a lot that I still don't quite recognize, despite
Yeah.
having been around this sort of stuff for a while. But it's very good.
Yeah,
Just
it's really good. Have you? Is this? This is a human settlement, right? Like.
Yes.
Okay.
Predominantly, at least.
So yeah, I don't know if Arya. Well, she's been out of Elven society so long, she probably recognizes most of it.
Yeah.
I would ask if you're going to dance later, but I think we both know the answer to that one.
I can dance. I assume I have like super crazy dexterity. So.
We can dance if we want to.
Arya's
Leave
putting
our
out the
friends
fancy ass
behind.
footwork.
Well, it's as much dexterity as it is performance. So what's your charisma?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's your performance skill?
My my performance is a +1, so
Okay.
not terrible.
So you're good at dancing by yourself in practice. It's coordinating with a partner that you find difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Lady Falcor is 146.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not
That
bad.
is younger than I thought for some reason, but like obviously still quite old.
Yeah, she's just
It's-
like a little bit older than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, like pure year wise.
No, she's younger than you by a little bit.
What?
You were born in 632.
Oh.
So she is. Well, in terms of years, she is 30 years ish younger than you. But in terms of
What? Oh, in Elven years. I was like,
well, no,
Elven years, yeah.
in human years, she's 30 years younger than you. But
how old do you think Arya is?
I have your birth date right here, year 632, second age. The difference is you are a Ladrin, she is Elven, so you mature slower than she does.
Wait, how many years do you have Arya down as being alive?
What is it? It's 817 now, so 817.
Today on Second Age does maths to figure out how old
She's 185.
I feel like that's older than I originally told you.
Well, what did you write in the bio?
Well, you are 1 year. Oh no, sorry, no, you are. Is it 1 year or 10 years older than Vondal? But anyway,
this is like the-
so in terms of like biological aging, you are roughly the same because you mature at a
Okay.
slower rate than she does.
That's fine. It's just like,
Yeah, but in terms of actual number of
So-
years, she's younger.
Yeah,
Okay.
despite being born 30 years after you, you were teenagers at the same time.
right. Okay. It's just
Yeah,
trying to sort out some math there. It's been a long time since I thought about Arya's age.
yeah. Metabolic rates fuck with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think Lithari shows up at some point.
Okay.
The party.
Is this just the crew of people who don't know what the fuck to do?
So, yeah.
Oh my god.
After like Kelariis' comment about "Are you going to be dancing later?" and Arya goes, "I can dance," and then Lithari shows up.
Yeah, I think Lithari shows up like not late to the party, but like things are starting to pick up.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Fashionably late.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's getting
yeah.
into evening. The sun is starting to descend. Like the people who started drinking at 12 o'clock are starting to get leery, and
Yeah, and
Lithari shows up eating chips.
Yeah, well, no, because I think she shows up and she has changed clothes, and I think she's wearing her old Centurion's officer's uniform that she had arranged to be sent once she heard that there was going to be a wedding. I think it's like stripped down so it's not like full regalia.
Yeah.
She's not like drawing too
you've
much
left the
attention.
shoulder pads off.
Yeah. But I think it's just like a nice like vest and like dress pants and stuff. Like it's definitely more of like an officer's uniform than like a set of like armor or anything.
Yeah.
Damn.
and she has like her hair down rather than in the normal bun that she has it in, and she has she's plucked one of the daisies that Elizabeth gave her and has it in her hair,
Oh.
as well as her like rank insignia, like affixed to the front. And I think she like makes a point when she gets there to like to scout out ahead of time like where Lady Falkir's bodyguards are, and just like walk past them into the party.
God.
And just go at ease, and then just like continue past without saying anything.
Yeah. Like they when you say at ease, even like jokingly, there is a moment of like they actually comply with you. It's just on reflex.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, and I think she like she spots Kelariis and Arya and makes her way over to the two of them.
Okay.
Well, now I feel underdressed.
Well, I don't have much in the way of formal attire.
I don't know if Kelariis actually knows what like any of the like what that means, like what Lithari like doesn't understand the significance of what Lithari is wearing, and just besides that it's clearly formal military wear.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very obvious that it is like military dress with
Like higher
rank insignia.
military dress. Yeah. Cool.
Arya would recognize it.
Yeah.
And I think after a moment, she kind of like looks towards Arya and it's just like, "Are you having a nice time?"
Music's nice and the food is good. I've had worse.
I think Lithari kind of like puts one arm behind her back and then offers her other hand towards Arya.
Oh my god.
Oh my
gonna
God.
Dance? Are we dancing?
Do it.
Do it. Well,
No,
Arya,
back-
you said
asking
you
me
can
to dance?
Well, back in my day, it was custom for the ranking Stormguard and Wild Hunt officers to share their first dance.
Oh, how very nice. I accept, and I put my hand in hers, and we can go
Okay.
dance. Rob is absolutely gonna make me roll for this.
I am fucking
Well-
following to see this happen. Sorry if that's weird, but I definitely am now just like, well, gotta see Arya dance.
So
Oh, I'm sad I'm missing this.
my question is, who's leading? I would assume, by the way that exchange just took place, it's Lithari.
Yeah, I would assume Lithari leads.
Yeah, I think Lithari is leading, and I think her style of dance, because again, she's not like Arya, she's not super charismatic, but she's very dexterous.
Yeah.
So I imagine her style of dancing is that like she's physically capable of doing the moves for dance.
Hmm.
So I think it's definitely more like she's been taught or has been told how to dance and can do the moves in practice, but it's less it's more like a routine than
Okay.
actual.
Are you proficient in performance?
No.
Okay.
Well, I did check, but I don't think so. No.
So give me a straight dexterity.
All right.
As opposed to a gay dexterity.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh!
So I think you can just describe how this goes.
I think. Oh boy.
god!
What does it look like?
You played yourself on this one.
Yeah, I did.
I played myself so hard.
Yeah, I think Lithari like takes leads Arya in, and then almost immediately like does something like kind of just like start like takes a first couple steps until like probably like a 3-step waltz or something, and then very quickly like just tries to catch Arya off guard by like throwing her into like a spin or something.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
God.
Or maybe like trips her feet up from under her and throws her into a dip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Dip Arya.
So yeah, like Arya, as you're like beginning these opening dance steps, you're like, right, okay, I don't remember how is there 1, 2, 3, and then like Lithari just wipes the legs from underneath you with a practiced trip, and you're just like, what the hell is happening? But then she just catches you.
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Yeah. If there was a stray flower floating around, it would be in Lithari's teeth.
I mean, she's got one in her hair.
That's true.
Yes.
Apparently.
I was about to say,
True.
conveniently, one of the roses that I gave to
Yeah.
Arya
Just shows up.
appears.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
What's
but
going on?
I think that's the problem. I think Lithari kind of just like winks at Arya and then lifts her back up and then brings her, and then the rest of the dance is just like a normal, like, very simple waltz.
Yeah, it was the one showy trick that you had, so you used
Yeah.
it and pulled it off with aplomb.
Wow, what an experience.
This is amazing.
I imagine Kelariis is just standing there
Yeah,
watching this.
just like eyes wide, like shoveling chips.
Why is it the chips?
It was an idea I had, and now it's just there. It's in every
It's
scene
just
now.
there forever now.
It was just the spectating the spectacle, like the Michael Jackson eating popcorn
Yeah.
gif.
God.
I mean, realistically, I think Kelariis is just like arms crossed, leaning back against like a building. Like, all right,
Yep.
yep, this is. Arya sure is dancing, huh?
This is happening.
I
Yep.
am
This is happening.
dancing.
Can't believe
Lithari
Arya's
just
dancing.
fucking yep. It's just like this is great. This is very fun to watch.
Yeah, so as you're observing, a voice from behind, a familiar voice from behind catches you like slightly off guard. As you hear someone say, "Well, that's a sight I never thought I'd see." You turn to see Elrond Cyanidel,
Illiran!
Like-
Yay!
accompanied by guest.
Somebody!
Yes,
My ship!
the ship is back.
It's been so
Um,
long.
Yeah, who are like sort of walking towards you, and like observing what is going on the dance floor or
Oh.
in the area.
I'm so glad they weren't here 5 minutes ago.
Oh my god, yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine that?
That would've
Shows
been
up as a
funny.
random like blue woman dancing with his sister.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Kelariis is like probably starts for a second because was super not expecting them to be here, and just like grins because it's nice to see them again, and just like, well, I mean, I wasn't expecting to see either of you here, but I don't know which is more surprising out of the two. Welcome.
Yeah, somebody sort of like bows head and says, "Yeah, sorry we're late. Got tangled up in a few things. It's
Kelariis raises an eyebrow.
We're like each other!
Oh! We're the worst.
yeah." Elrond just sort of nods, says, "Yeah, it's traveling has not been an easy experience, unfortunately, but we're here now."
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you were able to make it. I assume that you were some of the guests that got invited then.
He nods and says, "Yes, but all seemed rather insistent that we show up for the event. I'm rather sad we couldn't make it for the actual wedding, but I think it was
Glad you
nice
were
that we
able
could join in to
to do it
support." But I hear congratulations are in order for you as well.
Oh, well. Just kind of like shrugs, like, what? I mean, all of us, I guess, if that's the case.
He sort of nods and says, yeah, it's... When I heard about it, Well, to be honest, when I heard that there were rumours of dragons, I, at first, didn't think too much of it, and then when I heard where it turned up, I somehow knew you guys would be in the thick of it somewhere.
Oh, if only you knew the half of it. We were... maybe not the first to encounter, but definitely, we had a very close encounter the first time, and went back for more, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
News traveled very quickly, then it sounds.
Well, I don't think it reached quite as many circles as it was so much more there. Let's try that sentence again. I don't think it reached many circles outside the Rangers once we realised that this was actually a serious thing. Obviously, I had a bit of an upper hand in the fact that Elenia was involved in things. She mentioned a thing or two when she travelled down. I take it she's here somewhere.
She is.
Wow. I look forward to seeing her because she doesn't know I'm here.
Oh, you didn't tell her.
LMAO.
No,
Somebody just
she's-
sort of smiles and says, yeah, I think it would be a nice surprise for her.
Well, she is around. Not quite sure exactly where she is now, but if you're intent on finding her at the moment, I can at least put you in the direction I last saw her headed.
Eloran sort of says, I'll wait and say hi to Arya.
My friends. My friends.
Yeah, you the two of you finish the dance and walk back towards Kelariis, and you see two familiar faces, Arya.
Aw. I feel like her and Simone have kept up writing letters to each other.
Yes. Yeah,
Over the...
none with quite so severe, like, serious contents as the
No.
one that we exchanged, but...
Yeah, Kelariis will, like, as Arya comes over, like, step back to let them kind of
Yeah.
catch up.
Yeah, like, Iloran, like, offers you, like, a handshake as you
Aw.
come in. Simone just goes straight for the hug.
Of course. We friends. It's good to see you both. It's been a long time.
It has.
I trust all the weapons over.
Microphone
Oh,
noises.
Your mic.
Oh no.
Microphone.
Microphone noises.
Luka, no.
Rip Luka. Arya's too excited, she just fucking dissolves into...
We lost her.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, you're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I trust all is well in Silverbrook.
Yeah, Iloran sort of nods and like looks to Simone for confirmation, and sort of says, "Yes, I believe things are well. I've been out for a while, but Simone's been keeping on track of things." She sort of nods and says, "Yes, it's business as usual for the most part. There's been a few incidents that we've dealt with, but nothing quite on the scale since the last time you guys came through."
Oh, that's good to hear. What brings you up here?
I think we're guests of honor.
Ah, I see.
Vondal invited us. We thought it was a good opportunity to get away from things for a while.
Did Lithari met Samani, right?
Yes, in like a yes, yeah, because you talked about the notes, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, somebody probably like doesn't recognize you in the suit until like sort of takes you in and recognizes you.
It's a pleasure to meet you again.
She like offers a short bow and says, "Likewise. I wasn't aware you were quite so decorated the last time we met."
Lithari shrugs and is just like, I'm basically a relic at this point.
A relic.
Wow.
Relic that's a really good dancer, apparently.
Yeah, clearly.
Right.
Yeah, somebody just sort of like smiles and says, "I see you're still keeping active, at least."
I try my best. Anyway, I think I'll let the group of you catch up. I think there's somebody else that could use a little bit of encouragement. And Lithari, I'll just disappear into the crowd.
Okay.
Bye, Lithari.
Like Lithari, like quite literally, just like it's one of those moments where she's just like she takes a step backwards and then somebody like walks in front, like between the two of you, and Lithari's just gone.
She backflips into the crowd.
Yep.
Oh my god.
She does it.
Fucking
She does it.
Lithari.
How does she do that?
Who knows?
Bless.
But yes, the group of you catch up, and I think we will cut across to. Well, I guess Grim, what are you doing? Because you've not been in any of these scenes.
I guess I've just been mainly keeping, checking the perimeter, still kind of watching.
Okay.
So,
I think at one point, Vondal comes over with like 2 mugs of ale and like hands one to you and says, if I didn't know any better, I swear you weren't having any fun.
unfortunately, I don't think there is much time for fun right now. But for as long as I can, I'll let everybody else have fun, and then we'll see how we go from there.
Vondal just sort of like squints at you and says, "You're starting to sound like me."
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, didn't say it was. Just one of those things.
For now, I'll celebrate once we've achieved a complete victory. For now, this is just one of many battles.
He sort of clanks his tankard against yours and says, "I'll drink to that."
And Angrim will drink his.
Okay.
Just down it in one go.
Yeah, Vondal does the same, and you finish like the similar sort of time. And he disappears back into the crowd just as another figure approaches out of the crowd towards you.
I think, Lithari is just going to show up to Grow and just be like, "So, not joining in any of the festivities?"
Well, considering the circumstances, I felt it was best to keep someone, on alert.
Well,
These times are the best times to strike.
well, don't we have a number of guards, and Lady Felkir has her bodyguards on duty. I don't see any reason why you should have to take up that duty.
See, after I think, like after all these threats, I don't believe the guards would be able to handle what our enemies would send our way. So I'd prefer to take care of it before it gets in the way.
If I didn't know any better, I would say you're making excuses for yourself.
Well, I don't have much currently. I don't have much invested in, well, besides like the you guys, of course, but like in the locals generally. Maybe once we have more time, we'll start like getting to know them a little better. But for
Well,
now, I'm just sticking to keeping much. Besides, besides, if anything's gonna happen, I have a hunch I might be I might be the target anyway. This way, we might keep trouble outside of the party.
I think Lithari kind of like laughs. It's just like, are you sure I can't convince you to participate even just a little bit? You know, my last dance partner got whisked away.
I just look up. It's like that sounds like a challenge.
Maybe it is.
Oh. I take one last look around. It's like, well, I guess we can have one dance. Let's see how you do.
I'm interested to see how fancy your footwork is also. Alright.
Very, very sturdy.
Wow.
Wow. The two Battlemaster fighters in a contest of positioning.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I do not have great dancing skills. I imagine, but it's fine.
Well, if you only dance for a minute, you can be on even footing.
God.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I imagine it's a little bit more clumsy than her dance with Arya, just
Yeah.
because of the size difference. But I think during the dance, Lithari takes a moment and asks, "So, is there anybody special in your life this Festival of Blossoms?"
The festival, not right now. I've haven't really. Well, with all this going on, it's best not to focus on that part too much. Just keep all your loved ones far, far away. Then,
Or choose to have none at all?
well, like I've got people I care about. You should know that. You met like a bunch of them.
Lithari nods.
But it has been a while. I think last time I was probably bothering building of the keep because we had some time to settle and things were relatively calm as far as we knew. What about you?
Oh, I've had my fair share of romantic encounters, but it was never for me.
Well, I guess it just isn't for everyone.
Don't get me wrong. Centuries spent on a mountaintop will make one appreciate companionship, but My preferred kind has always been peers and acquaintances and trusted allies rather than lifelong partners in that sense.
Well, that's a fair assessment. Lifelong is always such a commitment.
Especially when you live as long as I do, or I have.
Yeah, that is
To
very
be fair, I
true.
don't know how much more I have left, so
I'm sure you've got plenty left. Look at you moving. Like, you've got like, yeah, you're still pretty nimble and everything. I haven't lost your wits yet, so that's also going all right.
yes, well, one can only hope it'll last forever, but it never does.
It will last long enough, I'm sure.
So, well,
Besides, somebody's gonna show your student the ways. It's
yeah, heaven knows he's not going to find it himself.
yeah, the springs aren't gonna make themselves either. Oh.
Yeah.
Oof. Wow.
Anyway, aren't you going to formally thank me?
Formally thank you.
Well, for one, I made you stop being such a party pooper and got you out on the dance floor. But more importantly, you know, I believe that this is the second time I've helped you and your crew out of a tough spot.
Well, you say it's second time. The first time we helped you, if I remember correctly.
Well, now we're just debating semantics, I think, but
Yeah, well,
regardless.
I'll take it. But well, I don't think we could have done it without your craftsmanship. That blade really is something else.
And yeah, I was maybe thinking that we could make that arrangement a little bit more formal.
Oh,
in the spirit of continued partnership.
Well, if you'd be up for it, like we should be able to, well, help you with at least a few projects, depending on what your ideas are. And I guess, well, you'd have to fight with Vondal for the position of our armorer or just general forging. Like,
well, I don't have any intention of taking that away from Vondal, but nor would mercenary work suit a woman of my age. But if you ever need military consultancy or expertise, I'm sure having a Stormguard Centurion on that list.
I think I am still just way too focused on what's going on outside, potentially going out. I just didn't even realize what you were asking, but I think I'm catching on now. What you're looking for is you want to be part of the Amber Eagle, or at least a business partner. Well, or
partners is a nicer word, or just a consultant.
Consultant.
Yeah.
Those
Here
are
when you
usually
need me.
expensive.
Well, I think
But
you'd know at this point that money isn't much of a concern
don't-
for me.
don't worry. It's just me making trying to make a joke. Well, no, of course I would happily inform you of whenever we could use you, or well, you could probably inform us on something. Not quite sure how we'd set it up, but I'm sure there's going to be an easy way.
I'm sure there's a book you can write it down in.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. Don't worry. You don't have to. Well, we will write it down, but it wouldn't take a book to remember you.
Yeah, well. And to be frank, I don't think there are many books that do remember.
Well, who knows? They might change at some point. Because now you've achieved. Well, yeah. Well, we've all achieved something that is worthy of note. So perhaps a book will appear, one closer to a legend more so than anything else.
I've always fancied being a legend.
She should probably get someone to actually write it down, shouldn't we? Well, those are worries for some other time. Although,
Yes.
I do believe you still have a painting. Oh, I didn't. Or at least I hope you have, because otherwise I stood posing in front of that dragon for nothing.
How long has it been since we fought the dragon?
About 5 days.
Okay. I don't know why I asked, because I honestly don't know how long it takes to finish a painting. But I think Lithari says, yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. I could bring you over to show it to you a little bit later tonight if you want.
And it would be nice.
Well, then just stop by. I guess I'm still saying in Arya's quarters. Just stop by Arya's room later tonight.
Oh no.
Stop by.
I didn't quite think that one through, but yeah. Sure, she's she doesn't mind, I guess. Well, otherwise you can also use my room. Doesn't really matter too much. Well, depending on what you prefer.
I don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah, feel free to stay in my room, I guess. At least then Arya can't complain about us waking her up, or well, whatever she does.
Well, if there's one thing that I know how to do, it's how to move around a room without disturbing anyone.
Yes, but there's two of us, and I am awful at it.
There's also a giant wolf that shares the room with us.
All right. Well, I might take you up on that then.
Yeah. I'm sure it will work out.
Mhm.
Okay. I think we transition across the scene to the sort of rough bar setup that has been set up in front of one of the taverns. To Elizabeth and Elenia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have a drink. Elenia sort of sits down, not opposite you, but on the stool next to you at this bar. And yeah, I think Elena just sort of says, Elizabeth, enjoyable to have a friend who's an intellectual equal that isn't 4 times my age.
I'm flattered you consider me your equal.
Well, I think we can safely say that you've proven that.
I suppose.
I'm still willing to take you up on that offer, by the way. I'm willing to teach you if you want to learn.
Oh, absolutely.
Sort of smiles and takes a sip of a drink. So says, it's been quite some time since the last time I spoke to someone that there wasn't this sort of I'm getting caught up on myself. I enjoy talking to you, Elizabeth. There is something in our conversation that is genuine. There's only one other person I can think of that I ever get that out of.
Who's that?
She smiles and says, "Promise you won't tell anyone."
Elizabeth would like hold up one hand and cross her heart with the other.
She grabs a thin silver chain that's like running around her neck down into her dress, pulls it out and says, "Well, you better make good on that promise because technically this is a state secret."
Okay, yeah, Elizabeth like nods her head like wildly, like yeah.
And yeah, she pulls the silver chain out and lets it dangle to a plain but finely detailed platinum ring. And she says, honestly, the only person I can ever seemingly have a what's the word for it? In Elvish, I forget the word in common. No, that's me forgetting the words in actual English.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like if she knows the word in Elvish, she could just say it in Elvish. Elizabeth knows. Elizabeth.
Yeah, she probably does actually say like I forget the word in common. It's and the word in Elvish that she's looking for is like a non-judgmental or like a conversation that there is no pretext to. Yeah, the only person I can have a conversation when there's no pretext is my fiance.
Oh. Well, I suppose at least you have someone. It's always nice to have someone you can go to. I mean, I've always had family.
Oh man, this is some heartbreaking shit.
I know.
I'm like dying.
Oh
my god. Fuck.
Yeah, she sort of smiles back and says, "Well, now I have a friend as well."
Oh my god. Ouch.
Jesus
Christ. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Elizabeth just smiles and says, like, I mean, yeah, if ever you need me.
No one in this party is lucky in love.
Clearly
Oh
not.
my god.
Minnie,
Oh no! Don't do
Minnie.
anything with that.
That like so. There's like a moment of like pause as just sort of like the two of you sort of like drink the drinks. She just says, "I hope you're not too disappointed by that answer."
No, not at all. Even if I was, I shouldn't be.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I probably
Oh.
shouldn't. I apologize.
She sort of like puts a hand on your shoulder and just sort of says, "It's okay. I took no offense from it. I saw the way the conversation was going, and I needed a way to let you down lightly."
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah. I guess Elizabeth would just nod and be like, "Yeah."
Well,
Um,
you win some, you lose some.
sorry, I don't know what to say.
That's okay. Don't say anything. At this point, she sort of like looks up and beyond you as 4 people walk into line of sight. As
Turn around.
the rest of you arrive with Eleran and Smyrny. Or, sorry, the
Yeah.
2 who were with Eleran and Smyrny arrive.
Elizabeth just like beams a little bit. Goes, "Oh, hi, Kelariis. Hi, Arya."
Hello.
Hello.
Lydia Falca sort of like gets off the stool, walks towards you all, and like acknowledges the other 2 of you, but walks towards Eleran and Smyrny and just sort of says, well, what a surprise." Hello.
Sorry, Elizabeth just goes, "Yeah, I presume this is Illaran and Simone." And we'll like walk over as well.
Yeah, the Eleran and his big sister sort of exchange a hug. Simone sort of like also there's a hug between her and Elenia that is like it's not the same as the brother and sister hug. There's a slight awkwardness to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she sort of says, "So you came all the way out here to pay a visit. That's awfully sweet." And Illaran sort of smiles and says, "Well, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to take some time off, visit some old friends, and enjoy some company." Sort of smiles at his girlfriend. He's like takes in the rest of the group and says, "Oh, and you must be Elizabeth."
Yes, that's me. The others have obviously talked quite a bit about you.
Yes, I've heard from correspondence. And sort of like the introductions are made between you and Simone. And then Elon says, "Well, I suppose I'd say drinks are on me, but I feel like drinks are already on the rest of you, so..."
Sentiment is appreciated, nonetheless.
Yeah.
yeah, he sort of like gets drinks for everyone. And yeah, I guess you spend the evening as you wish. I don't know if anybody else has a scene that they want to do.
Not really.
It's just
Feels
how
bad, man. Feels real bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
just how it be in this bitch on Earth.
everyone parties until they don't want to party anymore. And the next morning, we cut to the keep of the Amber Eagle. Fairly early in the morning, to the point where pretty much it's only elves that are up.
Oh, before that, I do think Lithari moves her shit into Grimm's room
Okay.
and shows him the painting. And I think it's like a nice big painting, and it's definitely like exaggerated in terms of proportions.
Mhm.
Like the dragon's like just like this huge like towering landscape essentially with Grimm in front of it. But Grimm's like back is to like the perspective of the painting, like facing towards the dragon, holding like the sword at his side, just kind of like looking up at like the huge like dormant like slain form of the dragon. Notably not in any of the poses Lithari asked him to do.
Excellent.
Amazing.
I think meanwhile there's the a distinct lack of the usual sound of turning pages from Elizabeth's room.
Aw.
Replaced with the sound of heavy sobbing.
No, not sobbing. It's just silence.
Just silence.
Thick layer of
I
disappointment.
can't tell if she's either sat cross-legged on her bed or sat at the desk with her face in the book,
Does
and that's why it's no pages turning.
in the evening, does Elizabeth ever like go off on her own after that?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Although I feel like a roll. That's how well she's keeping it
Okay.
together.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Ah!
So everybody can tell without even
Would-
needing to roll.
She looks
I
a
don't
little bit down.
necessarily need it to turn into a scene or anything, but if that's the case, like, I think Kelariis does pull Elizabeth away just for like a little while.
I feel like that's a scene that's probably worth playing.
Okay. Well, I know it's late as well as the other thing,
Yeah.
and I don't want to keep people that are that it's later for, but yeah, but it's just kind of like I'm gonna go out for a walk because I don't know, Kelariis also doesn't like sitting still for a long time and isn't super into doing a lot of drinking anyway. So probably just like really casual. It's just like just to Elizabeth, like, come on, let's go.
Okay. It's just we'll get bowled along because doesn't really have anything else important to be doing.
Yeah. Probably waits till they're like, you know, like a couple of like a little bit away from wherever everybody else is.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Out of earshot of the rest of the party.
yeah. But like is actually going to continue walking. Like I'm not just gonna stand in one place. Kelariis does actually want to go for a walk. Just kind of like just figured it was better than you sitting there and stewing in it in front of everybody else.
I'm not bad, huh?
Sort of. But if things went how I'm assuming they did, I can't blame you, I guess.
God, I'm such an idiot.
You're not. It happens. You couldn't have known. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I just figured it'd be better for you to be away for a bit. This was as good of an excuse as I could think of.
God damn it, I need to think about stuff more before I do it. Sorry, I'm not going to be very fun to be around, to walk with.
Kelariis just kind of like shrugs and it's just, I mean, it's alright and it's understandable, like I said. If you want to
this
talk
point-
about it, you can,
yeah.
but that's up to you.
I think at this point, she like gets Scarlet out, just starts like holds her like a cat, just petting her head, and it just says, "Well, I can't tell you too much anyway. I promise to keep a secret."
That's fine.
So, how's your evening been?
Well, I mean, I've had some good food and saw a very interesting dance and saw some old friends, so I can't say it's gone too badly for me.
Very interesting dance.
Define interesting dance.
Perhaps not so surprisingly, but Lithari is quite good at dancing. Well, good at being unpredictable while dancing, and Arya is quite a sight to see dealing with that.
At which point you probably see Elizabeth like fidgeting with her ear and just say, "I'm sorry, I could have sworn you just said Arya was dancing."
Yeah, well, I mean, most of us know how to dance.
Kind of sad. I miss that now.
I mean, I was lucky enough to have been around talking to Arya when Lithari showed up, so maybe another day.
At which point she probably like suddenly stops walking and just goes, "Wait, does that mean you were around the where everyone was dancing?"
Kelariis just kind of like stops and gives like a not quite like a side glance, but like, you know, kind of like looking like, yeah, good job puzzling that one out.
Yep.
You saw that, didn't you?
I didn't mean to. It's okay. Surprising. No, sorry, she doesn't leave that with surprisingly. Believe it or not, I have seen much more awkward attempts when I was in training and such.
Well, no, I can believe it. I'm just See, I don't want to talk about it, but it's also all I can think about now. You know?
Jesus fucking mood.
What?
Honestly.
Fucking mood.
Well, there's two options. You talk about it, or you do something to distract yourself. Preferably something not dangerous, so.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Good prefix.
The only time I'd do something dangerous if I wanted Arya to shoot me.
Yeah, that's probably not the best idea.
Well, I don't know. You saw what happened. You can make deductions.
I mean, I heard part of it and saw a little bit of it, but I'm no expert. I have no.
What do you mean you heard part of it?
Hmm?
What part did you
Oh,
hear?
I may have misunderstood what you said, like out of character.
Oh. I've forgotten what I said now.
Well,
I-
shit.
I think you were both talking about different what happened, as in, like, Kelariis saw and overheard part of the conversation when you were dancing, but not the second half of the conversation.
Oh, was she referring to the
Well,
bit?
no, even this is the thing. She wasn't necessarily referring to anything. She was just asking, "What did you hear?"
Oh. Oh, God. I mean, to be honest, not a lot. Mostly bits and pieces of you, just while you were dancing. It wasn't much else.
Okay, well, at least you heard the good parts.
Oh, Elizabeth.
I know. Ah! Look, let's do something to get your mind off of it a little bit.
Like what?
Don't know. Do you? I assume that you're okay at dancing, considering what I saw, but don't know if you're quite in the mood for that again.
If you're offering, I won't say no.
Well, it's better than just not doing anything. Come on, I'll make it a bit of a one with a faster step.
All right. Lead the way.
Yeah. I don't know anything about dances. Well, that's a lie. I know very little about dances. But I'm sure that there are not like super fast-paced dances, but ones that are like a bit more upbeat. That Kelariis learned from like a young age, and they're kind of just meant to do with like. They're not like exactly. You can kind of do them partnered, but they're not like meant to be just partnered. Like you could actually extend them out to be part of like a group thing.
Yes.
But kind of like probably picks one that she thinks is like complex enough that it'll occupy Elizabeth at least a little bit, but nothing like too difficult.
Yeah. So you're doing folk dancing rather than ballroom dancing.
Yes, that would be a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of like trying to help Elizabeth take her mind off of it for at least a little while. Hoping that will do something to help a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, you spend some time on the dance floor, enjoying the music, dancing away. You encounter Tiff, who is there, who is utterly smashed.
Oh boy.
She is having a hell of a time. Like you've seen gnomes. You've seen them, like, you've seen, like, Grim when he was at a party. He sort of, like, he danced around a bit, tapped his feet, enjoyed some drinks. Tiff is just, like, straight up just, she is, like, dancing to everything. She is, like, yelling at the music. She's, yeah.
She's about to fall over.
She is white girl wasted.
Sip.
Classic. So in other words, she's about to either fall over or do something stupid.
She's having a great time. She's loving it. She's loving every second of it.
Good.
She won't be tomorrow.
Woof.
I'm sure she's done it plenty of times.
Oh my god.
Look, just because Grim is the gnome equivalent of a grump doesn't mean everyone is.
Yeah. Gnomes know how to party.
Yeah.
And yet we all never would have guessed it from Grim.
Nope.
Yep.
Also, I think because everybody kind of realizes that as Elizabeth kind of walks around that, she had a rough time.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it manifests as not really contributing to conversations, even in situations where she normally would, and standing back a little bit.
Yeah, I think Lithari, seeing that again, it doesn't have thing, but would kind of as she sees Elizabeth and Kelariis dancing, would sneak into Elizabeth's room and leave her a little something.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think our closing scene is that of the morning after. Early in the morning, when only the elves are awake at the crack of dawn. Lady Falkir is making her plans to leave for the capital. And sort of an impromptu agreement is made that you'll all sort of congregate in the hall to sort of say goodbye. Elora and Simone, who are sort of staying in town, agree to like meet up with you come the morning to say goodbye. And yeah, I think Lithari and Arya, you sort of like you're both up at the same sort of time. Head to the hall, where Lady Falkir is sort of like in the process of like traveling between her magnificent mansion and the hall and setting up like a teleportation spell. Elrond is sort of like sitting at the table, sort of like seemingly like deep in thought, and Simone is nowhere to be seen.
Interesting.
It's just Arya and Lithari at this point, correct?
Yeah, with the two of you sort of walk in, perhaps not at the same time, but like you both walk into the hall. Ilran is sat at the table. Lady Falkir is setting up the spell.
I think Lithari will probably walk over to Lady Falkir and just be like, heading off then.
She sort of looks up from what she's doing and says, yes, I'll stick around until I can say goodbye to everyone else, but might as well get this prepared while I'm waiting.
Well, it was nice to meet you again, more formally this time.
Well, it's a pleasure to finally properly make your acquaintance. If you're ever in the capital, feel free to drop me a line.
Well, the capital's never really suited my taste, so hopefully I won't be there anytime soon. But if I am, I'll take you up on it.
Well, then best of luck to you in your future endeavors, whatever they may be.
Mm-hmm. And to yours. And she and Lithari does like a whatever the dorm guard, like they probably have their own like
like a stand to attention and
yeah.
She dismisses you with a curtsy and you stand down. What are you doing this time, Arya?
Do I know where Simone's gone?
No.
Can I try to track her? I want to know where she went!
Why don't you just ask
you
the person who
look
probably
around for
knows
Simone's
where she is?
tracks and find none. She has not been here.
Okay.
Why don't you just ask the person who probably knows the answer?
I wanted to be a tracker. Fine. I can ask Illoran, I guess.
Okay. you sidle over to the bench and like he looks up from his thought and says, "Oh, morning, Arya."
Morning. Seen Simone around? What? What?
Right to the point.
Why are you all laughing?
It's a perfectly normal
I love her
question.
so much.
That's a normal response.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like just
I don't know, something about the way you said
Yeah.
it, like as
Yeah,
Arya.
it's just like I imagine Arya just like looking around, like, trying to find any sign of somebody, and then just rolling up. It's just good. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know why this was such a big deal.
It's
just
'cause
like no, just straight from hello. Have you seen this other person? No, like did you sleep well? No, like attempt at idle chat first. Just
I
straight
said hello, and then I had a question. And it's
Anyway.
perfectly normal.
Yeah, he sort of like he like looks up and says, "Yeah, she's not feeling well this morning. She should be along soon."
All right. Well, if you see her out, just like, or if you see her later, just let her know that at some point I'd like to sit down. We can have a little chat, just catch up.
Yeah, I think she'd like that. I'm sure she'll be here for Lenia's goodbye.
I have thoughts. TM.
You have thoughts.
I have thoughts. I don't think they're real. I know that this is what you're going for, but I have thoughts.
What on earth
Same.
What on earth are you doing with thoughts?
Hmm.
Begone thoughts.
Begone thoughts.
God.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what Elizabeth wants to happen right now.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke along those lines with.
Yep.
Aw.
Beat you to it.
Yeah, so I guess you don't voice your thoughts then.
Not to. Well, okay. This is out of character thoughts. Sorry.
Okay.
Should specify.
Okay, yeah. So
this is Luka thoughts.
so yeah,
Does Luka want to share the Luka thoughts later?
you
I will.
yeah
Okay.
you sit in the mess hall for a while. Somebody eventually arrives. She does look a bit green around the gills.
Are you all right, Smoney?
That's
Oh,
especially
sorry.
bad because why does she have gills now?
Wow.
Wow.
Tell me a phrase.
I know.
Yeah, she sort of like walks up and says, "Yeah, I've been a bit rough the last couple of days."
Are you? Did you eat anything bad? Do you think, or do you think it's the sickness or something,
I don't know.
or something else?
Oh my god.
Yeah, honestly, that's all I could think of right
That's all
now.
I can think about.
Same though. We're just. That's where we are today. It turns out.
Oh,
Somehow it's only just clicked for me.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It only clicked as you said.
But
that.
every time in any form of media, there's a woman. She's sick in the morning. What am I supposed to think?
I'm glad that 3 of us had the same thought. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The jump.
almost all the girls in here had the same thought, except
Yeah.
for Victoria.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
she sort of says, "I don't know. I don't think I didn't eat very much yesterday at all. To be honest with you."
I love how Rob has not denied.
I know. We're all just like,
Bobby,
A baby is coming.
when a mummy and a daddy love each other very much.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah,
Well-
she said, I don't think I didn't eat very much at all. I just haven't been feeling myself. That's all.
maybe
Well,
you should see a healer if it keeps up.
yeah, I'm sure if it's something mundane, then Kallistrate can certainly take a look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah, I think you might be on the right track with that.
I don't think we are.
Cure disease.
Oh
Oh,
my
no,
God.
nothing happened. I'm also just imagining now how sad everyone will be if she does a cure disease thing and then I feel much better. Everyone's like, oh.
Aw. Rob's gonna do it now just to fuck with us. Watch.
He probably already has it planned.
Probably.
I mean, you can make a medicine check to try and determine her illness. You
Yes!
literally do have a specialism in that.
Yes,
you.
I would like to do that.
Okay, sure. Make me a medicine check.
I feel a little bit bad because what if I get it right?
Hey, well, you haven't made the judgment in character, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wow, that sucks.
That's
Fucking
that's
rip.
bad.
Don't I have a special? Do I get advantage? Rob?
Um.
How experienced are you with detecting baby?
Well, technically,
not.
technically, your specialism is not in. It's in field medicine, so like, unless it's like immediately obvious trauma, you can't really deal with it.
Well,
And even then, it's only physical. You can't do anything about the emotional.
well,
Yeah, you sort of like assess her over it. Like, she looks flushed. Yeah, it could be any number of things.
okay. Guess we.
Good job.
Good job, Arya.
Uh,
Only you were better at medicine checks.
Bless.
Bless. God bless.
So yeah, after a short time, everyone else sort of like filters into the room. Vondal comes in carrying like a big crate of stuff that he passes off, and the two Stormguard come in with other crates, which are like those of you who get like a scent of it as you're like walking past. It's dragon bits.
Oh dear.
Fun.
Checks out.
Yeah, like that. They pass by where Ilaran and Simone are on the bench. Like somebody gets like one whiff of it and is just outside immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's definitely pregnant.
She doing okay?
Well, she said she was feeling a little bit ill earlier, so maybe that's just a lingering effect.
I mentioned you could take a look at her.
I mean,
Yeah, maybe that'd be a good idea. Just to see if it's some sort of ailment that you can cure.
I mean, I can
Oh
definitely,
my god.
I can definitely at least try. We'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I guess I fucking walk right back out.
Yeah,
as soon as I get
you dip outside. Simone is just sort of like she isn't like throwing up, but she's definitely sort of like catching her breath, trying not to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably just like wait a moment to see like, it's like I don't know if I should leave you be or
Yeah, she sort of like looks up and sees you and sort of says, I'll be okay in a second. I'm just.
do you want to step further like out or
Yeah, yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
alright.
Just sort of like
then just
takes a couple of steps.
yeah, I just like go with.
Yeah.
Now I'm just concerned because I'm like, I don't know, like what's going on?
We all know what's happening here.
We all know what's happening here, but we don't know in characters.
I
Hear
know.
about babies.
All of us are like, what's going on?
We could still be wrong.
Yeah, no, we can all still be wrong, and this will be the fucking worst.
I just can't believe I've been bothering Rob for a wedding for literally like the whole time we've been playing this fucking game. He's like, no, how about a baby?
Well, we're jumping to conclusions here. Let's see.
Yeah, Luka, we've done this dance before.
We've done the saga dance.
Oh my god.
No wedding. How about bastard?
Like, it wouldn't be
What?
the first time he took something away. Like, just earlier, he did kind of break your heart.
Yeah, well,
So what are you
Rob
doing?
wouldn't do that to me. No, I'm kidding. He probably.
So, yeah, he
In fact, he has before. So.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just kind of like, well, first of all, like following her wherever she ends up going, like outside, I
Yeah.
guess, because now I'm just like genuinely concerned because I'm like, oh, I've never seen Simone look this like,
Yeah, she-
out of it before, and that's
she-
a lot.
She walks like a short distance and then just sort of like catches her breath.
Yeah. I am not good at medicine, but considering the fact that multiple people have been like, you could take a look, and like, she's probably sick, I'm just like, ugh.
Give me a medicine check.
Yeah, I mean, I know where this is probably going to go, no matter what. No matter how this medicine check goes, but
Okay.
Because I fucking worse than
than
Arya,
me.
So... High five,
She's-
Arya.
She's rough as shit.
Yeah. I mean,
To quote Call of Duty, she looks like hammered shit.
I mean, I know that I can kind of do stuff for illnesses in general, so I'm just gonna be like, Simone, do you mind if I try something that might help?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do just the lay on hands thing of, like, there's a cure a disease or illness bit of it. But just kind of lay a hand on her shoulder and kind of.
So, what is the description of that actually?
That's a great question. As it's, I don't know if I have it written down word for word. That's the thing for it.
Okay. Cure target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it. I don't think this is technically considered a disease.
It's not. Poison sickness is not a disease.
Babby is not disease.
Well,
Some people might see it as one.
So yeah, you cast it and ask her if she feels any different. She just sort of shakes her head and says, "Mm-mm."
Suspicious.
I know. I guess then this, because I am now Kelariis is just concerned because of all the shit that's been going on, and not really is convinced that this is just some sort of something, but wants to make sure she's covered all of her bases at this point. I'll probably just in the, not having completely taken my hand off of her shoulder yet, probably do it's the effect that ends a spell. I don't think it's gonna work, but Kelariis will do it because she just wants to make sure she's covered all of her bases, considering the other shit that's been going on recently.
You try to end a spell effect, nothing happens.
Yeah, I figured. But Most of the group right now is just the thinking emoji.
More like the eyes emoji.
Both. Well, I'm not quite sure at this point then what it might exactly be, but hopefully it's just something in passing then. I'm sorry, I'm not much of a healer per se, but
Well, it technically will pass.
It will pass
After 9 months.
in a trimester or two.
I should actually probably roll something.
What are you rolling?
This is where we find out that she's actually possessed
Mortally
by a demon or
ill.
something.
yeah, something was really wrong.
Well,
We're just
yeah.
she's pregnant. No.
She's cursed.
we did potentially piss someone off who, one of the demon princes, what are they called? Demon princes, demon lords.
We pissed off a lot of people at this point.
Yeah, it could be any number of people.
I don't know why they would go after Simone though.
Yeah, there's only a few select enemies we'd make who'd know about Simone, let alone go after her.
They know where to hurt you specifically, Luka.
They do. They know where to hurt me, where it hurts.
Hit her right in the Simone.
Also, if she is pregnant, if anything happens to this baby, I will kill Rob. Just that on record.
Wow.
Hang on a second. I now need
Yikes.
to make it. Bear with me a second.
So there is somebody just sort of stands there for a second, sort of catches their breath, and then sort of looks at you, Kelariis, and just there's sort of an almost a worried look in her face that just says,
Oh no. She knows.
"I'm overthinking this, right?"
Yep. Sure.
How do you mean?
I just trying to put pieces together, I guess. Oh god.
I
Oh my
feel like
god,
I shouldn't be laughing.
Simone!
I should be laughing.
I know.
Oh.
Oh god.
It's actually really bad that they're not married, though. Like, that's actually concerning to me now.
Baby is bastard.
I think she just like looks at I think she looks at you, Kelariis, and seeing that you're not getting it, just sort of goes, "Is V still here?"
Oh yeah, V would know.
Yeah, I think she's still here. Has she? She hasn't left yet, has she?
She has not.
Okay. Yeah, she's not come down to the mess hall yet. She's probably still up in her room. Do you want to go see if she's there, or would you rather her come here?
Let's go.
Okay.
You sort of take her upstairs.
Yup.
Interrupt V, who's like in the process of like throwing a bunch of things on, like as if she was late because she forgot.
Oh.
And she sort of like is like but almost bumps into you in the doorway and is like, "Oh, Kelariis, Simone, what's happening?"
Simone's not feeling so great, and my usual attempts to help didn't really do much. But you're better at medicine than I am. Or, yeah.
Yeah. She sort of like indicates you to sit Simone down on the bed. Simone sits down. She's sort of like, there's like the moment of like, where does it hurt? And Simone just like without a second thought, just like sort of grabs V's hand and like puts it on her stomach.
Oh, yeah,
no!
Kelariis is like, oh! And then everything clicks for Kelariis, too.
V is gonna make a medicine check.
I believe that.
God, imagine if we all failed the medicine checks and nobody.
Oh my god!
I know!
What
He's good
is-
at medicine, I think.
What is
Yeah, V's very
V's
good at it.
modifier?
What's this strange growth on
not-
your stomach?
Oh, because it's
If not, I'm not
it's
good at it.
wisdom technically. So,
She's quite good at wisdom, I think.
she is. Well,
Yeah,
it's
I
her spellcasting stats. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, no, it's not. Sorry,
Wait, no,
it's
charisma.
Oh, yeah.
charisma is a
She's a sorcerer.
spellcasting check.
Yeah.
It's
Ah,
but
shit.
wisdom is like
Second
Uh,
highest, probably?
I think it was. Let me check. It's not intelligence. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
There you go.
Helena's
I
gonna
love
see that
this-
later and be like, "What the fuck?"
I love the slow, like rolling realization that's going on here.
I know.
It's good. It's a lot.
Oh, she only has a +4 to medicine. This is fine.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wait,
Please
but,
don't make
but
Grim like come by and like
Behold, my
be
V,
like, oh, that's
V's
maybe
wisdom is
alright.
her highest stat,
Oh,
despite
okay.
it being her spellcasting, not being her spellcasting stat.
Oh really? I thought her
Interesting.
charisma was higher.
No.
Interesting.
No, it wasn't because her DC was often quite low.
Yeah, because it was why she picked spells that didn't require high DC.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So there's like a moment of like V going over Simone, and she just like she sort of stands up, like looks at Simone, and just says, "It's not what you think it is."
No! Oh no!
Luka's screaming.
He's playing us again! Somebody stop him.
Oh my god, we've done this twice today.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
god.
What was it then? Come on, Rob. Tell
Yeah.
me. Tell me what it is.
Yeah,
You owe us
she
this much.
she sort of finishes her assessment and says, "It's difficult to say, but I think it's an infection.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But it's..." She sort of like goes like busies herself and sort of says, "If you ever want that to happen, then you should take care of this now."
Oh no.
I can't believe that he played us twice in the same session.
Yeah, I know. We all fell foul twice.
I'll be honest. I kind of did made me see it coming.
I hate this.
I just distracted myself by making a meme.
Unlike the rest of you, Simone is relieved.
I'm sure she is, and
No,
good
yeah,
for
I
her.
think that's fair, honestly.
Yeah.
I honestly don't blame her.
Oh, if she had a baby, who would we take on adventures?
Who would we take on adventures?
Who else would we place in needless risk?
Oh,
No! Wow,
Put the baby in a little caboose. We'll take it with us.
that seems irresponsible.
Highly.
extremely.
But yeah, I think V helps give Simone some treatments that she can continue to take, and then the rest of you gather to say goodbye to Elenia. And that's where we'll end our session for the week.
God
That's
fucking damn
I
it.
fucked with you enough.
Yeah.
You did.
Oh my
Fuck you.
God.
Fucker.
Oh my god.
Hang on, let me just.
Luka, your message.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Helena will not wake up tomorrow morning and go, "What the fuck is all of these memes?" Because I actually told her this was going to happen. So
God damn
Oh
it!
my god.
God.
I
Yeah, you know
hate
what, that's
you.
fair, though.
I
That's
hate you
fair.
so much.
Ugh.
What the fuck?
Oh.
I'm gonna message Helena right now.
Oh god. Well, no,
Now I'm
she's-
just concerned for Simone's
Do
health.
you know what?
That's
Also-
I'm just concerned for her health now.
Also, I'd just like to point out, yes, Helena is not going to wake up and go, "What's with all the memes?" But she is going to wake up and go, "Ha ha 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 ha."
Yep.
Yeah,
And
probably.
laugh at
I
it.
can't believe she would betray me in this way.
So
Oh.
so
I
one
mean,
of
in a way, we all betrayed Jayla.
one of her predictions was accurate. The other one was not. So
Oh,
this is fine.
which one was accurate?
That Luka would flip out.
Okay,
Yep.
what was the other one?
Nobody either posted the "Am I Pregante" video.
Oh no!
No, we were
Should've.
all
feel
too
like-
in it.
Yeah, people were too invested.
I was
I mean,
way
look,
too
I made a-
invested.
I made a publisher meme. That's how you know I got invested.
I was so invested in this baby that wasn't even real.
I have.
Foiled again.
Foiled again.
I have like a minute left.
Yeah, I think
Oh yeah, we should probably.
on that bombshell. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.